Pastor Robbie George, Archdale Baptist Church, coming to you again on this Monday morning. It is December the 16th, 2024. I'm here in the city of High Point presently, getting my last walk in for today. Here behind Walmart there, South Main Street, if you know where I'm located here. And just kind of surmising the messages that's been preached in the last 3 weeks on simply believe, and how God just asks of us simple faith. And what we've seen also is there are no impossibilities with God. Luke 1:37. And there's nothing impossible with God. And God can do that in each of our lives, and that's what we need to understand. No matter what it is, the challenge that we're facing on this Monday morning, I guess it'll be one more Monday after this one before Christmas, but people are facing a lot of challenges as we head into the Christmas season, into a new year, and there are no impossibilities with God. So whatever that answer we're seeking and looking for, God is the answer, number one. He can do the impossible in our lives. All he asks is that we simply believe. If we pray anything according to his will for our lives, we know that he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, we know that we have the petitions that we desire of him. That's what 1 John, I believe it's around chapter 4, says to us, or 5 it is, maybe, it's 5, about 13, verse 13 through 15. And so we know that all things are possible to him that believes. And so that's very encouraging to me today, because I need those impossible things done in my life on a consistent, regular basis. I don't know about you, but I seen God work in my life last week, 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday last week, and do the impossible for me. And, I was needing one more impossibility, and God didn't grant that, and that's kind of the way God operates. Not everything is for our best interest sometimes, and he has a greater plan than we can understand, and we have to trust him even when those prayers aren't answered. Some prayers we pray for years and they go unanswered, and it talks about how in Hebrews chapter 11 that all the people that died, seeing the promises afar off, yet they died still looking for those promises, and it'll be that way in some of our lives. But God does indeed grant those things into our life at times, and we just have to be prepared to receive it, because we know that God is always speaking. I think I said that in yesterday's message, and sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes the answer is no, and we know sometimes the answer is not now. So in those not now moments, that requires patience. And you know what James said about patience in James chapter 1, that if we pray for patience, we better be prepared for the tribulation that comes with that patience. In that time of waiting, we're going to endure some things, but this morning is still misting a little bit here, but it looks like it's about done, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the sun come out here in a little while here. Just south of downtown High Point. I'm coming off the hill here. Normally I can look right over there and see downtown High Point, the buildings. I can faintly see them through the fog this morning, but I always see Elm Towers. I always see that building, but I'm not even seeing it right now, but I can see where downtown is this morning, and I grew up right there to the right of those buildings. You could get on top of my house and see downtown High Point there on Park Street where I grew up. And used to ride my bicycle to the library that wasn't but a few blocks over. And but those days are gone. And it is a little bit different neighborhood up there. The house isn't there no more. And we actually don't have that property no longer in our family either. But the Macedonia neighborhood is what I speak of today. That's what it's called in modern day High Point. Just like Kivett Drive was always Kivett Drive all my days, and they changed it to Martin Luther King Drive here a few years ago, and that's okay. But I always know it as Kivett Drive because that's what it was to me all throughout my life. But this morning, as I finish up my walk here, I'm about 4 to 5 minutes from being done, and then we'll head on back to the plant and see what they got for us now. Might be able to go over there and get our heat checked out and see if we can get that working if we have the time, but don't know where we'll be going tomorrow. I started out close to home this week, but there was a chance I may have went to Norfolk today, so the other gentleman took it instead of myself. So there was an opportunity there for me to go to Norfolk today, and we got the short trips, and we appreciate that sometimes, and it don't always work that way. Obviously, I was up there on Friday, 2 stops in the Norfolk area, wound up being a 14-hour day, and so it was a long day on Friday, but some days are like that in trucking. And for some in the trucking industry, it's 12 to 14 hours every day, because that's what the government will allow you to work. 11 hours of driving and 3 hours of other work, or if you will, just the time you have to spend getting those 11 hours of driving in, if you will. So traffic, unloading, loading. That's why they give you those other 3 hours. So 14 hours is a pretty common day in the trucking industry, but right now, this time of year, trucking usually slows down to a crawl, and I'm sure it's that way in a lot of companies today. They're out here looking for work. They're out here knocking on doors and beating down the doors trying to get some loads. So it's a little slow right now. Things kind of slow down towards the beginning of the year for about a month or two. So it's just the way trucking industry's always been. But as I take this turn here, I'll see the truck, and we'll be on to the plant, and we'll be done with our walking today. We just live about 3 miles to the right in this direction right here where I'm heading, maybe 4 miles from my present location. But this morning I see the truck, and I walk here often at this location because it works out on my routes where this is the easiest spot to hit. So it's been one of those days, and I pray God's blessings over you again. Come and visit with us at Archdale Baptist Church, 9078 Hillsville Road, Trinity, North Carolina. My number's 336-847-0232. If you have any questions or you need directions. God bless you today.